Well, the Detroit Pistons go first, select Cade Cunningham, and no surprise here, this was going to be their guy. They made it known. What they are hoping in a league that is driven by star power at the point guard position, that they have found one of their own. 6'8", can make any play on the court as a passer, as a scorer, certainly has to tighten up his range and be a guy that can really be a threat from anywhere on the floor like star point guards do in the NBA. But I think the most important quality he brings right now is a maturity, a poise, and an understanding of the game. He sees the floor. He knows how to make guys better. And I think right now the Detroit Pistons go with a guy at the right position when you're in rebuild mode. Now the ball can be given to this guy as your floor leader, and he can go out there and pair alongside a guy like Jeremy Grant, who had a breakout year offensively, another young guard in Killian Hayes, who they got a year ago, and hopefully this is the start of something special for the Detroit Pistons. Houston Rockets go out at number 2 and get Jalen Green. I love this pick because I think ultimately Jalen Green could turn into a great two-way player in this league. Right now, immediately, he is going to be a guy that gets buckets because he can create his own shot. He's going to play great in open floor and in transition. And he is a guy that's got a lot of confidence offensively as an NBA player, I think, from day one. But ultimately, I think with his reach, his athletic ability, and hopefully his lateral quickness and his drive to be great, he can be a guy that can also become a lockdown defender in this league. There's no question in my mind. I think Houston right now is still a franchise that's in transition from the James Harden era, trying to figure out who they are and rebuild now. Very difficult year a year ago with a first-year head coach in Steven Silas. Now you go out there and you get a guy that's got the magnetic star quality as a scorer and a bucket getter in this league. I think Jalen Green from day one is going to have opportunities to put up big numbers in Houston.
You are also tabbed as the #1 overall pick tonight. Congratulations. We'll get to that in a minute. But we just heard you talk about being a dad, and I do want to hit that first because it is so special. Richard, we know that relationship, it changes you in your work, too. It makes you want to be a different person out there. So how has that affected you out on the court?
I think it's just given me a different, motivation, a different hunger. To have a little person looking up to you and relying on you to provide. I mean, I take that seriously, and I wanted to, be serious about being a great father and being in her life. Little girls especially, you have to be a good father figure for them. So, it just added more fire to my, whatever it is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you see me got stuck.
You're like, no, I'm with you, man, because you don't know how to, it's like, yo, there's just something about seeing that little person that makes me want to be a better person, a better basketball player, everything.
It's
just
very
be greater.
clarifying, right? It teaches you what is important in life, and it clarifies for you, kind of cuts out some of the extra noise, and we have seen you use that and progress in a way that is so focused and so impressive. It's really fun to watch.
I appreciate it.
Okay, speaking of like motivation and being impressive, like what would be the significance of that #1 pick? There's one every single year, and there's a fraternity. I remember hearing Kyrie talk about this, saying like, there's a fraternity to the #1 pick, and he was talking about some other players. Obviously, I was not a part of that, but I was like, I never thought of that. There's a legitimate fraternity of the greatest players of all time that have gone #1. What would that mean?
I mean, it would mean a whole lot to me, and I feel like it would almost be a validation for the work that I put in. And I think it would prove to me that, work actually works. Like, you have to put the time in if you want to reap the benefits of that. So, I'm blessed to be in this position. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to, put my family in a position that I'm going to be able to. But, to be in that fraternity, like you said, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. And I feel like that's the main thing that I want to show to people is that, I'm actually built for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I have to keep being reminded of your age because you seem a whole lot older than 19. Anyone who spends time with you gets that sense from you that you are willing and mature enough to do the work. And it's going to be work. By definition, #1 picks. Yeah. Don't tend to go to big championship teams, right? We've had a couple years where someone falls for a reason, but in general, it's a team that needs leadership. You've talked about why you think you are a good fit for that Pistons team and could be a leader in Detroit. Why do you think that can really work when you look at what they've got on their roster?
Ever since I heard that Detroit had the #1 pick, I wanted to watch all of their games and just, see who was on the team and learn as much as I could about the organization. Just because it's important to, know the people around you and to be comfortable where you're at. And I want to uplift that organization as much as I can. I feel like that's, the main job that I have as being the #1 pick is to, elevate the organization and contribute as much as I can. So You know, Detroit has a lot of things going for them. You know, they have 2 all-rookie guys this last year. And, you know, I want to come in and only add to that and take another step forward.
First of all, they have an outstanding fan base. Pretty annoying when you're playing against them, but it's an outstanding fan base. But I want to talk to you about name, image, and likeness, right? The NIL. How do you think that would have changed your decision? Well, you know, obviously, whether it's the Ignite or, you know, now that kids can go and stay or go to school and make money, would that have changed anything that you would have done? Or, like, do you think, how are you feeling about that situation, especially now that you're leaving it as it's starting?
I think it just goes back to being around the right people. I feel like Oklahoma State had the perfect people for me and where I was trying to get to. I feel like, you know, they pushed me. They didn't make anything easy on me, and they didn't, you know, make me feel like they were going to hand things to me. And it was just, you know, you're the top guy, so let's make this as simple and, you know, stress-free as possible for you. They really wanted to put me in stressful environments because they knew it would make me better. And so, I mean, that's what I wanted going into college. That's what I wanted in my year between high school and the NBA, and I feel like I got that at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that fraternity of past #1 picks because we are old. I remember sitting with LeBron James when he was drafted, and he was so disappointed that Michael Jordan had just retired for the final time that year, that he wasn't going to get to go up and play against Michael Jordan. It was like by months he was missing it. What about you? Who are you most excited to go up and play against when you get into the league in this rookie season?
I think LeBron. LeBron is, you know,
that's the answer.
That's the guy. Like, I mean, I've been watching him since, you know, I was a kid, and I mean, he's been in the finals pretty much every year that I can remember. So, I mean, that's the guy that, you know, I've been idolizing, trying to take things from his game and add them to mine. So to be able to be on the same court as him and see it in person would be surreal, but you know, I want to see where I stack up against all those guys for sure.
Absolutely. Well, we were just talking in the previous segment, LeBron might have some new teammates coming in. It was great talking to Cade in the break. We're saying this is what the NBA is like. These trades are going on.
He was sitting over there answering questions, and he sits down and is like, hey, you know, Russell Westbrook might be going to the Lakers. He's like, wait, what?
Because, by the way, 5 minutes earlier, it was Buddy Hield, and you never know. So welcome to the NBA.
I understand that pain, but take us through that experience. What was it like? How did that get you ready for this upcoming draft and this year?
It was an amazing run, you know, with amazing people there at Gonzaga. You know, we were a family. And, again, I've always dreamt of playing in March Madness, being on the biggest stage, you know, and being in the biggest moments. And, you know, I got to do that. And, I mean, it was a blessing. It was so much fun. You know, I learned and I grew. You know, from the loss, you know, from all the games, and just the experience and being there. So couldn't be more thankful. You know, no regrets about my decision at all.
Well, losing the final of the NCAA tournament, you could turn out to have a 15-year-plus career, win a title, be in 4 NBA finals, and then come sit on a set like this one day. So
no, it's not you,
like
look,
that.
man. Look, this is about you. This is about you, Doug.
I'm just saying. You also have some company here, though, because you and your Gonzaga teammate, Corey Kispert, both projected lottery picks tonight by ESPN. Just how cool is it to be able to share a moment like that with a teammate, a brother who you've been with so much?
It's the best. I joke around with him all the time, you know, and I tell the story. Corey didn't talk to me for about the first 3-4 weeks I got to campus.
What?
Just trying to gauge, you know, who I was. Was it going to be the high recruit who comes in and, you know, just doesn't care and does what he wants? But, I mean, from then, you know, we've been inseparable. We were roommates on the road, and, you know, he's taught me everything, took me under his wing there. So to share this moment with him and his family, who are all great people as well, is special.
Pretty great.
Okay, so our research team, this is not me, but they want to know, like, basketball over football. I think you made the right decision just overall. But what was that like? You know, when you're a two-sport athlete that can play one, what was it the deciding factor that was like, you know what, football is fun, but this is what I want to focus on, basketball?
I played football all my life, and I've loved it. And it was super hard to give up. That was one of the most emotional weeks I've ever had. But, you know, I sat down with my dad, and we broke down the pros and cons and what it would look like in the future. And, you know, we knew I had a real great chance to be sitting here right now in the position I am today. So ultimately it came down to that.
I just hate these polished, perfect answers. Like, such a great answer.
But he's been like this. We've had him on the show many times before. This is not new for him.
No.
He has been like this.
No, he's one of the stars in this country. It's just so impressive hearing these answers, and it's just like, good for you, man. That was the right decision.
I appreciate it.
Well, we talked about how maybe your career path could emulate Richard's, but here's something you already have that he does not. Are you ready? Mr. RJ?
Oh, there's a lot that he doesn't. Hair,
Well-
good looks. There's a lot that this guy has.
On his Twitter bio, he shares that he is, in fact, a 3-time gold medalist. Those are, of course, for your under 19, under 17, and under 16 days with Team USA. Richard, how did you medal when you were on Team USA?
Well, I won the bronze, and it was very, very proud of that. But yeah, you know, we don't. Again, this is about him. This is about him. Man.
Wait,
we're not worried
about that.
We're not worried
We're
about that.
the future.
We've got Team USA right now over in Tokyo. This is the beginning of your NBA career, but it also makes you eligible for Team USA coming down the road. Is that something that's on your goal sheet as you get through to being a pro?
Most definitely. You know, me, I love to win and win at the highest level. And all my USA basketball experiences have been great. You know, I've met people who have turned into my brothers, you know, and been brought into my family. You know, we're still extremely close to this day. So those trips, you know, always help me grow, you know, and learn the basketball player as a person. So, I mean, to get to the Olympics, you know, of course, is up there with NBA championship, you know, and things that I'd love to accomplish.
That's
Who's the second best dressed guy out here outside of yourself?
I think all the guys are clean. I'm gonna go with my guy Scotty. I love his all white, the floral, and then he's got the bling to match with it. So
Okay.
I think Scotty's great.
But no one's as sparkly. You got that locked up. Jalen, so thank you so much for joining us. It's been